So welcome everyone. Thank you for muting. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the fourth and final session of the FES Miami Wellbeing, the series which we are doing. And this is the fourth session which we are going to do. And the topic for today is leading from within. And today we have a very special guest with us for this topic. And her name is Kathy Shea, Dr. Kathy Shea. I know her for almost 6, 7 years now, through our spiritual or meditation practice, which we both do, which is same. And also something about her. She's a wonderful person. A CEO who runs her own company, a friend, a faculty member of and other universities, and also a meditator for more than 25, 30 years. So a little bit about her is that she runs her own consulting firm for more than 30 years, where she provides assessment and evaluation services for a variety of public, private, and government clients. And she's also been a faculty member and administrator at and other universities. And not just that, but she has also been as a volunteer. She has been she's served nonprofit boards, including City of Miami Commission on the Status of Women and the National Association of Women Business Owners and Seat Rise Community Health Center. And she has been, as I mentioned before, she has been a student and practitioner of meditation, Raj Yoga meditation for 25 years. So welcome, Dr. Kathy. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Tej, for inviting me. It's an honor to be with you and your colleagues.
Sure. So I know I was supposed to share a presentation, which I don't see how I'll do with the laptop not working. So I don't know what if you think you'll be able to do it without it or okay. Okay, so I think all the folks here are very curious, and and with me to know what leading from within is and what is it about, what we're gonna learn or hear from you, what it means, why it is important to know, and and how do we practice it. So yeah. I think Laura could share the presentation. Maybe I'll share it with her, but meanwhile, if you want to go ahead and get started.
It's okay, Tej. I think we can manage without it. Tej just passed his the first test of leadership, which is to keep the show going even when there's technical difficulties. So let me first of all say again, it's an honor and a pleasure to be with engineers. I had an assignment working with petroleum engineers for a major oil company in Houston a while back. And I so enjoyed it because I think Tej has also reinforced for me that engineers, they like clarity, they are problem solvers. I would say you're problem finders as well. And you have, I think, in my work,
I see. Because this thing's not working. The one beneath that one.
Claudia, can you mute yourself, please?
I know, it's not. And the only place this.
Dr. Shea, I think you're on mute as well. You got to unmute yourself, I think.
Oh, okay. Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you hear me before, or was I been muted all the time?
You're muted for about 30 seconds.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What is leading from within? And I'm going to offer you, and please jump in because this is our time together, and Tej as well. I know we've had a few chats about this, but I think first and foremost, leading from within means number one, recognizing the importance of your own inner life. and recognizing that the inner influences the outer. And I know you had a wonderful session with Craig Gordon a while back, one of your sessions, and there was so much that he said that I'd like to just reinforce or bring back to mind. And he talked about stress. And when there's stress in the system, things get rigid, things get tight. There's no fluidity. And the same is true in our inner world as well as in our bodies as well. So the number one thing, at least in my opinion, is leading from within means recognizing the importance of your inner life. The second thing is, I don't know, have any of you done whitewater rafting? I don't see any, raise your hand if you've done this. I don't see anybody. Ah, one person, okay. So that's Claudia, right? Jose, okay, a couple people. What's one of the most important things, and I'm gonna ask you to respond if you would, if you can unmute. What's one of the most important things in whitewater rafting?
Being on the same page.
Being on the same page. The same page with what?
The other rafters.
The other rafters. So that's great. Actually, I hadn't thought of that, but absolutely. Harmony and unison, yeah. I've only done it once, but I managed not to tip over. And for me, my first concern was staying stable in the boat and not falling out myself. So the ability to keep the boat stable. Jose, would you agree? Even
No question.
no question, even in white water and rocky water at that, and you're going fast. So I think whitewater rafting is quite a metaphor for the times that we find ourselves in. Because these are new times, you know, and things are going fast, and there's a lot of rocks, and there's a lot of people. And as Jose said, being on the same page is really important so that we don't tip over and kill ourselves. And so along with that ability to be stable, what does it mean to be stable? If you think of it in physical terms, it's having a strong core. And that core, whether you're doing yoga, Pilates, weight training, whatever, that core is one of the key elements. And so in a subtle way, that core means having faith in yourself, being free of doubts and free of influences. Because in whitewater rafting, the waves are coming from all different angles. Sometimes you're going fast, sometimes it's calm, sometimes you hit a rock, and you have to be ready for all of that and have a stable core. So the third thing that I just want to say, that, and now we're just talking about what is inner leading from within. Picking up on the stable core comes from knowing who you are inside, knowing what kind of a person you are. And we have this term, I am. You've heard that? In fact, my email starts with I-A-M-K Shea. I've had it since email was created. And I first email was an AOL account. And so I am K Shea, but we have a lot of other descriptors. I am a woman, I am a mother, I am an athlete, I am feeling happy today, I am irritated. There's endless things with this I am. So we're going to explore that a little bit more in our reflective practice, but I just want to open that up for you, that leading from within, what is it? It's leading from the I am at my most basic. It's remaining stable even in the permanent white water of times that we find ourselves in. And thirdly, it's just recognizing, observing how important we are And so just as a little aside, I work as an evaluator for mental health, substance abuse, behavioral health programs, among other things. And it's so important right now to take care of our own well-being. And the fact that you've given yourself this little bit of a time to be with yourself and be with us, that we can be together and on the same page, as Jose says, is a real gift. And I can't tell you, I work with this every single day. I can't tell you how difficult these times are for everybody to a greater or lesser extent. At the very least, things are changing very quickly. In my own work, contracts are being canceled. There's leadership changes. We did it one way yesterday. We have to do it another way today. There are deadlines to meet. There are deadlines broken. And we have to be ready for all of that. I don't know if that's true in your industry, but it certainly is in behavioral health right now. Would you agree, Tej? Would you agree? Things are changing. Maybe we lost Tej.
No, I'm here. I'm here. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Constant things going on. Yes.
Do you want to throw, weigh in on that? What is inner leadership to you, leading from within to you?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think for me it's a lot about the stage at which I am. I think from what stage or what state of mind I'm leading. I think that's what how I see leading from within. And of course, it's more about the stability, the more about the in the right consciousness, more about in the right frame of mind or the state of mind, positive state of mind. So that is how I see when I am in that kind of state or state of mind or consciousness. I think to me that could be leading from within because I'm more connected to myself than.
Yeah, and that's actually the second thing we wanted to talk a bit about was the why. Why do you want to lead from within? And Tej just offered that he's more connected to himself. And I just mentioned that things are very changeable right now. Everything is, everything we thought isn't anymore. This is a period of enormous change and many difficulties people are experiencing to a greater or lesser extent. And I think it's absolutely necessary to prioritize our own wellness right now. Anyone else have a thought on that? I'm going to offer one more. We're all leaders, whether we know it or not. We're all leading. And the world needs us to be stable, to be connected to ourselves, to be productive members of society. And the world is looking for leaders right now. And some people are emerging as leaders that we never would have expected. And I think President Zelensky in Ukraine is a good example of that. He was a TV comedian who's now become like an emblem of a world leader. So the world needs us. Tej also mentioned, connected to himself. And I want to go into that a little bit more. Having the right thoughts about yourself, valuing yourself enough to understand your own specialness. And so I would ask you this question, just since this morning, and I say it kind of funny, but it's who's the boss of your mind? Who's been putting thoughts in your mind today? And what kind of thoughts are you having? Are you having stressful thoughts? Are you having worries or anxieties or just a lot of thoughts? This is a great time. The noon time is a great time to do a nice reset. And so just ask yourself for a minute, what kind of thoughts have I been having? Are they thoughts that are helpful? Are there thoughts that are causing me distress? Are they thoughts about things I worry about in the future or something I did in the past? Just to take an assessment of that without judging it, without changing it. I know that Tej has talked with you, and I think Craig mentioned it in the session you had previously about this idea of traffic control, and to stop and take an assessment of the kind of traffic that's going through in your mind right now. Second thing I want to point out is, and I know as engineers, you look for root causes of things. So take a minute and just think to yourself, how am I feeling right now? How am I feeling physically? Am I tired? Does anything hurt? Or am I a little stiff? How am I feeling mentally? Am I anxious? Am I enthusiastic about my work? Am I thinking about how am I going to get everything done today? Am I worrying about something that's changing? Am I resisting anything? Just take a second. How am I feeling? And what is the quality of my thinking today? Are my thoughts beneficial for me, for others? Am I accepting? Am I open? Or am I worried? Am I frowning? And don't judge yourself. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking, whatever your emotions are today, don't judge it. It's just being the observer, standing on the sidewalk, sort of watching the traffic go by. So take a moment just to check in with yourself. And if you notice anything that's not quite right, understand this. That is, that we have this innate desire to feel right, to feel that everything is right with the world, that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm right with all my relationships, that I'm right with my work, that everything is right. Even if it's not going smoothly, you can still feel that it's right. So this is this natural desire that comes from deep within, but the situation happens that we want to feel right with the world, but we're trying to feel right by changing everything outside of us. We're trying to stop the traffic, or we're trying to, turn out the noise, or we're trying to change the person instead of getting down deep and being right with myself. So that's what this class is really about. It's being right with myself. And once I'm right with myself, I'll be right with my work. I'll be right with my friends. I'll be right with my family. Oh, can we go to tips for leading from within? There you go. I want to share three things from my own experience. And I know over the years, I've certainly had to work at this because I'm very achievement driven. I like working. I'm getting ready to retire, and this is like a big deal for me. And I haven't always been very good at this. Somehow I felt that working all day, all night, working, 24 hours a day was a good thing. And eventually I just wore myself out. And in truth, while I was teaching, I actually had a stroke. I literally had a stroke. And so that took me out of the game for a while. And that's what got me seriously into meditation. A colleague of mine said, you really need to meditate. And that's when I met the Brahma Kumaris here, although I had been meditating up in Chicago before that. And it's really changed my life. It's probably saved my life, to tell you the truth. But I have taken up that practice. And it starts with what I've learned is taking a micro moment. I could no more sit and meditate for 20 minutes, than I could go to the moon. But I could take a micro moment. I could take a second. I could take 5 minutes. I could take 10 minutes. And now I can take 8 hours of actual meditation. But it starts with a micro moment. And that could be traffic control. That could be just what we did before. How am I feeling? What's my mental state? What kind of thoughts am I having? And then making a conscious effort to change that. And the second tip I have, when you get going real fast, you lose track of the fact of what's influencing you. And we are all influenced by a constant barrage of news and social media. But even beyond that, for me, it was my desire to achieve. It was my desire to do a good job. It was, in some cases, my desire to be recognized for what I did, to get my PhD, to, do all these things. I did it for as much for external recognition and proving to myself that I could do it. And that's not leading from within. So recognizing the things that influence you, and if I were to give homework, if this were a real classroom class and I gave homework, I would say make a list of the 10 things that are influencing you right now. And if you think, no, I'm not influenced, make another list of the things that you can't do without. Your cell phone, the internet, your car, whatever, person. Those are supports that are also making you dependent and influencing you. So that's your homework. 10 things that influence you, and then take it down to the root cause. Why am I being influenced by that? Why am I so upset somebody else got a promotion and I didn't? Why am I so upset? Nobody recognized that I worked so hard on this. And just go down into the depth of that. And that's the I am. So Tej, I see we have just a few minutes. I can do a little reflective. That's my last tip, was develop a reflective practice, whatever it is, whether it's meditation. There are millions of resources on the web. There's apps, there's videos, there's YouTube channels, there's endless things. Sometimes I say it's like drinking from a fire hose. There's so much out there. How can you begin to sort it through? But if you take a micro moment, just pick anything, just listen to anything, but do it consistently. That's the final tip. A reflective practice, a little reflective practice done consistently will yield big results. And in fact, may even save your life. You never know. So, Tej, any comments, or should tell me when we want to go into a meditation or a reflection?
No, I think, yeah, let's do that. And if later, if anybody has any questions or want to mention anything, feel free to put it in the chat box, or we could talk about it later. But let's do the reflective exercise first. That would be great.
Okay.
You need the last slide for that, right?
If you can. If not, that's okay.
Yeah, it's there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this is my head and my brain. And I don't know if you can see down toward the bottom, it's listening and appreciating. We're moving away from all the thoughts, the reflexes, the habits, the feelings, the beliefs, the memory. And then you see being here now and the I am. So let's just have a little moment with ourselves. So sitting comfortably, Let's take a couple of complete breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth at your own pace. The breath connecting the body to our inner world, to our minds, and to our hearts. If you say to yourself, I am feeling whatever you are, say to yourself silently in your mind, I am feeling whatever it is. I am feeling peaceful, happy, and allow yourself to have that experience. If you're not feeling peaceful or happy, just acknowledge that you're feeling irritated or unhappy, whatever it is. Just acknowledge it. But now turn your attention to the I who is feeling that. The I who can take a micro moment and watch the flow of thoughts in my mind. The I who, with compassion and understanding, can sense what I'm feeling emotionally and tell myself it's okay. The I who recognizes that I'm in this body, that it's taking care of me, as opposed to, I often say, I'm taking care of my body. The truth is, my body is taking care of me. Be with the I who appreciates the ability that I have to be in this world, to draw from my own inner resources of peace, of power, compassion, empathy, and to share that with the power of my presence. I lead in my life, in my work, in my relationships, with the essence of who I am, and that is peace. I am peace. Thank you. And you'll hear us use the term Om Shanti, which means Om means I am, and Shanti, peace. So, Om Shanti.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Kat. That was wonderful.
Thank
I
you,
really
Tej.
enjoyed, I really enjoyed it, the tip you gave about that micro moment, and that practice, having a constant practice. Really see so much value in it. So thanks a lot for being with us and sharing the insights with us on what leading from within is. I'm not sure. Let me see if there are any comments or chats, anybody, or any questions anybody has. Yeah, do see some comments here. Find peace, love yourself, various thought about past events, but not really any questions. So I think, thank you.
Great
Oh.
comments. That's a good mantra.
Yes, we just have a note here, just a quick question. Okay. Please go ahead. How does this deal with mental health?
How does this deal with mental health? Was that the question?
Yes.
This is mental health. This is mental health. Yeah.
So, yeah, the way I see it is, sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
You're kind of breaking up, Tej.
No, go ahead. You were saying something.
Well, let me just preface it by saying there is an upswing, an upturn in anxiety and depression. Meditation is a wonderful method of helping with both. However, sometimes if untreated, that can escalate and really create feelings of hopelessness and turn to all kinds of things. So if you are struggling, and or if anyone you know is struggling, feeling hopeless or sort of can't get out of it, meditation may not be the answer, and they should ask for support, ask for help. So I just want to make that caveat. But for the kinds of anxieties that we're all feeling and feeling blue or down, meditation will really help like that, help with that, as well as being in programs like this, being with people, even on Zoom or Teams. It really helps to know that there are other people out there that are prioritizing your own well-being. And I'm so happy that you all are prioritizing that and having the series. And more companies are starting to do this now, because I can't emphasize enough that that should be your personal number one priority right now, is your own well-being and that of your family and friends and colleagues.
Sure. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I see so much value from the point of knowing, like, I think the better we know ourselves, we understand ourselves, we can deal with things, situation, people, and very effectively, I think, or at least the way we feel, in a more effective way. So that's where I see the value, how it relates to mental health, because at least I'll be in terms with what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I'll be able to accept things the way they are. So that's where I see a lot of value in find using these resources to understand myself better. So
yes, and
I
accepting
think
things the way they are is a big one, Tej. That's a big one. Accepting things is the way they are.
so hopefully we'll be able to come back next year, in the next session, and do this series again. But let's see. Would love to hear your feedback. The folks who participated consistently, or even if you attended at least one session, would love to hear back from you guys. You can drop us an email or a comment on the official emails through our FES Miami. So feel free to let us know how your feedback on it, and we would love to hear you guys. But there are good comments here, thanking for the wonderful, peaceful session. Feels really good to take a moment just for us and be with the people. That would be my take home for this. Okay. So thank you, Dr. Shea, for everything.
Thank you, Tej. Thanks to all of you. Enjoy that
Yes.
whitewater rafting, Jose. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. Take care. Bye. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.